Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive with us. Today we're going to a fascinating city, Vilnius in Lithuania.
Vilnius.
Yeah, we found this really great online travel guide by someone named Jack, and it's all about the top things to do there. So we're going to dive into it, see if we can't paint a picture for everyone listening of what makes it such a unique and special place.
Sounds great. I've heard a lot of good things.
Me too. So first of all, I have to say I was completely blown away by this one fact. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, hit me.
Vilnius is the only European capital city where you can go hot air ballooning.
No way.
Yes.
That's wild. I mean, that just sets the stage for a city that's full of surprises, right?
Totally. Like you can just imagine floating over this city with its beautiful mix of Baroque architecture and like winding cobbled streets.
You said this was from a travel guide.
Yeah, by Jack.
Yeah.
He had some really great points about the contrast between the charming historic old town and the quirky Ujupis district. Like, those two areas alone sound like they'd make a trip worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely. You know, when you mentioned Baroque architecture, it made me think, didn't they have to rebuild a lot of Vilnius?
Oh, yeah. That's a great point. One of the must-sees, according to Jack, is Gediminas Castle Tower.
Right.
Which actually is a perfect example of that, because it sits up on this hill, and you get these stunning views of the city.
Okay.
But the crazy part is, it was actually rebuilt in the 20th century. Like on top of these foundations from, get this, the 13th and 14th centuries.
Wow. So it's like a blend of old and new, right?
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Right. Inside, you can even find like original 14th century letters from Duke Gediminas himself.
Really?
Yeah. It's like you're stepping right back in time.
I love that. I mean, talk about a tangible connection to history.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of tangible connections to history, Jack also recommends the Palace of the Grand Dukes of Lithuania.
Okay, I've heard of that one.
It's been completely restored. It's gorgeous. It was rebuilt as recently as like 2009. And they actually found over 300,000 artifacts during the reconstruction.
300,000. Wow. That's unbelievable.
I know, right?
I mean, just think of all the stories behind those objects.
Yeah.
It's incredible. You know, I think that rebuilding the palace, it was more than just a restoration project. It was like a statement, you know, about reclaiming their heritage after years of Soviet occupation.
That's a really good point. I hadn't thought about it like that, but yeah, you're totally right. I mean, think of how the people of Vilnius must feel seeing this palace standing there.
Yeah. Powerful, right?
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I have to bring up the hot air ballooning again.
Okay, what about it?
I just can't get over the fact that you could do that in a European capital. Imagine you're drifting over the city as the sun sets, you know, all those red rooftops glowing in the golden light, the Vilnia River winding through it all. Doesn't that sound incredible?
Yeah, that sounds like something out of a movie.
Right. But, you know, for those of us who aren't quite ready to take to the skies, Jack also recommends exploring Gediminas Hill, where that castle tower is.
Oh, right, the tower.
You can either take the Gediminas Hill lift, which is a funicular railway, or hike up to the Three Crosses Memorial.
Oh, funicular railways. You know, those are such a fascinating little bit of history in themselves. They were often built like back in the late 19th or early 20th centuries to make these steep areas more accessible.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that lift gives you a quick ride with some nice views as you go up.
So that's probably a good option for families or like if you're a little pressed for time.
Right, exactly. But if you've got some time and you like a little bit of a challenge, the hike to the Three Crosses Memorial sounds beautiful.
Yeah, he said it takes about 15-20 minutes, and the path is paved, so it's not too strenuous.
And then you get to the memorial itself, which commemorates those Franciscan martyrs, you know, the ones who were killed back in the 14th century.
Oh, right.
The Franciscan monks were a big part of Lithuania's religious history. I mean, they were known for their vow of poverty and, you know, their work with the poor.
Wow, so it's not just a pretty view from up there. It's like a place full of stories.
Exactly.
Okay, so now we've talked about going up in a balloon and climbing hills. What about something a bit more modern?
Well, for a modern-day thrill, Jack suggests the Vilnius TV tower.
The TV tower.
Yeah. It's the 29th tallest tower in the world. Did you know that?
No way.
Yeah. It's something like 1,071 feet tall.
Wow, okay, that's high.
And for the truly adventurous, they have this viewing platform, like 557 feet up, where you can actually stand at the edge or even sit with your legs dangling over the side.
Oh my gosh, no thank you. I think I'd pass on that one.
You're not a fan of heights.
I can handle heights, but That's a bit much, even for me.
Yeah, it sounds pretty intense, but I mean, can you imagine the view from up there?
Oh, I bet it's amazing. So we've got history, we've got incredible views, and we've got adrenaline rushes. What else does this city have up its sleeve?
Well, Jack's guide takes a bit of a turn here. He suggests checking out Lukisus Prison 2.0.
A prison?
Yeah, it's a former prison, actually. It operated for over 100 years. And now, get this, it's a tourist attraction. It's crazy, right? But they've turned it into this space for art installations and pop-up concerts and all sorts of things. You can even take tours of the old cells and courtyards and everything.
Wow, that's fascinating. So it's like they've taken this place with such a heavy history and turned it into something positive.
Yeah. It's a really interesting example of like repurposing a space, thinking about how we acknowledge the past while also moving forward.
Right. And it must be so thought-provoking to walk through those halls, knowing what went on there.
Absolutely.
And, I think for fans of Stranger Things, this place might ring a bell. It was actually used as a filming location.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that adds a whole other layer of intrigue, right?
Definitely.
So we've explored the heights of Vilnius, like literally with the TV tower. And now we're going to go somewhere that looks like it's straight out of a fairy tale.
Oh, where's that?
Trakai Island Castle. It's a little ways outside the city, but Jack highly recommends a day trip there.
Oh, yeah, I've seen pictures of that. It's that castle on the island, right? In Lake Galva.
That's the one. Apparently, it's only like 30 to 40 minutes from Vilnius.
Oh, wow. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, pretty easy to get to. And can you imagine, like, arriving there? You're coming up to this beautiful red brick castle, and it's just rising right out of the water.
Yeah, it's stunning. And it has a pretty fascinating history, too.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes all the way back to the 14th and 15th centuries. It was a super important spot for the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, like back in medieval times.
It must have been quite a stronghold being on that island.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I bet it was really hard to attack. And if you're a history buff, like really want to dig deep, they have the Trakai History Museum right there in the castle.
That's cool.
Yeah, it has like 16 exhibition halls, so you can really get a sense of what life was like back then.
I'd love to see the artifacts they have.
Oh, yeah, me too. And plus, you get those amazing views from, what's it called? Oh, yeah, Tiltazi Pili Salu. It's like a causeway or bridge that connects the mainland to the castle.
That sounds incredible. So Trakai Island Castle, definitely worth a visit.
Definitely. Okay, now let's head back to Vilnius. But we're not done with time travel yet, because we're going to check out Ushupis. Have you heard of this?
Ushupis, yeah. Isn't it like its own little republic or something?
That's right. They declared themselves independent back in the 90s. They even have their own constitution and a president. And get this, they have an army of 12 people.
I love it.
I know, right? It's so quirky. But it's also like a really cool place for art and creativity. It's definitely got a bohemian vibe.
Yeah, I've heard it's full of street art and cool cafes and all sorts of hidden gems.
Oh, yeah, totally. And their constitution is full of these like thought-provoking, whimsical statements. One of them is, everyone has the right to love and take care of a cat.
That's amazing. It sounds like a really unique place.
Yeah, you definitely get the sense that they're all about expressing yourself and like celebrating individuality. While you're there, you have to try to find the Angel of Ushupis statue.
Okay, I'll add that to my list. Is there anything else I should look out for?
Oh, let's see. What else did Jack recommend? Oh, yeah, the Mermaid of Ushupis and the Lucky Belly. Apparently, those are kind of hard to find, but it's part of the fun.
I love that kind of thing, like a little treasure hunt.
Me too. Okay, now for something completely different. Imagine you've been exploring the busy streets of Ushupis, and now you want a change of pace.
Okay, I'm following.
Well, Jack suggests heading over to the Bernardine Gardens for some peace and quiet.
Oh, yeah, I've heard those gardens are really beautiful.
They are, and they've got this incredible history, too. They were created by, like, Bernardine monks way back in the 15th century.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Bernardine monks were known for, like, their simple lifestyle and their focus on contemplation. So they created these gardens as a place of tranquility and spiritual reflection.
And I bet they still have that same feeling today.
They do. It's amazing. You can just wander through these lush gardens, surrounded by the scent of flowers, and feel all the stress just melt away.
It sounds so peaceful.
Oh, and there's this incredible 400-year-old oak tree there. Like, can you imagine all the history it's seen?
Wow, 400 years. I'd love to just sit under that tree and think about all that's happened in that time.
I know, right? And the gardens themselves underwent this huge restoration project back in 2013, so they've been beautifully preserved. They've got a rock garden, meadows, a central square, and even a fountain.
So they've got that blend of old and new that we've been seeing everywhere in Vilnius.
Exactly. Okay, so we've seen the beauty of Vilnius, both natural and man-made. But now we're going to a place that confronts a much darker period in the city's past.
Okay, what is it?
The Museum of Occupations and Freedom Struggles.
Wow, that sounds intense.
Yeah, it's definitely a heavy topic. But Jack includes it in his guide because it's such an important part of understanding Vilnius and Lithuania as a whole.
And where is this museum?
Well, that's part of what makes it so powerful. It's actually housed in a former KGB building.
Oh, wow, you're kidding.
Nope. And it's dedicated to the Soviet occupation of Lithuania, which lasted from 1940 to 1991.
The KGB, huh? It must be chilling to be in that building.
I can only imagine. They have this huge collection of exhibits, like over 144,000.
That's a lot. What kind of things do they have there?
Well, they have documents and photographs, of course.
Yeah.
But they also have, like, actual prison cells and a memorial wall.
Wow, that's heavy stuff.
It is. It's a really sobering experience, but it's important to remember and learn from these difficult chapters in history.
Yeah, you're right. And especially for Lithuanians, this must be such a powerful symbol of their struggle for freedom.
Oh, definitely. And I think it makes you appreciate the freedoms we have today even more.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that those freedoms weren't just handed to us. People fought hard for them.
Exactly. Okay, as we start to wrap up our exploration of Vilnius, there's one more place Jack recommends we visit.
Okay, what is it?
The Gate of Dawn.
The Gate of Dawn. What's that?
Well, it's the only remaining city gate out of the original 10 that used to surround Vilnius. It was built back in the early 1500s.
So it's been standing there for over 500 years.
That's incredible. Yeah. And what makes it really special is that it has this chapel inside dedicated to the Virgin Mary.
Really? A chapel inside a city gate?
Yeah. It's actually pretty common in Europe. Like, a lot of city gates would have these little chapels or shrines built into them. It was like a way of asking for protection for the city.
Oh, I see. And the Gate of Dawn is a big pilgrimage site for a lot of people. They come to see the portrait of the Virgin Mary, which is considered to be miraculous.
Oh, wow. So it's like a symbol of hope and faith for the people of Vilnius.
Exactly. And I think it's a beautiful way to end our exploration of this city.
You know, it's amazing to think of all the people who walked through that gate over the centuries.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All their different stories and reasons for being there. It's like a portal to the past.
Totally. And it kind of brings us back to that theme we've been seeing throughout Vilnius.
Which one?
Like, that resilience, that ability to adapt and change with the times.
Oh, yeah, good point. We saw it with the castle, the prison turned art space, even those gardens.
Exactly. It makes me want to go experience it all in person.
Me too. It feels like such a dynamic city.
Yeah. And what I'm really struck by is how Vilnius seems to balance that grand historical side with a more intimate feel.
Right, like you can be walking these cobblestone streets, feeling all that history, and then suddenly you stumble on this tiny cafe and it's like you've stepped into a different world.
Yeah. It's got that perfect mix of old and new, grand and cozy. You can go from like those panoramic views from Gediminas Hill right to that prison-turned art space.
It's like you said before, contrasts.
Exactly. And let's not forget those hot air balloons. I mean, come on, that's pretty magical.
Definitely a unique experience. I bet you get an incredible perspective of the city from up there.
Oh, for sure. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Vilnius, what really stood out to you? What captured your imagination?
That's tough. There's so much to choose from. That castle on the lake was pretty breathtaking. And I love the idea of that whole Ujupis district with its own quirky constitution.
Oh, yeah, Ujupis. It seems like the kind of place you could just wander for hours and always find something new and interesting.
Definitely. What about you? What resonated with you the most?
You know, I think I'm most drawn to the stories, like those letters from Duke Gediminas in the castle tower, or even those artifacts they found when they were rebuilding the palace. Each one represents a piece of history, a connection to the people who came before. And then, of course, there's the Museum of Occupations and Freedom Struggles. That's a powerful reminder of a dark chapter, but also of the resilience and strength of the Lithuanian people.
Well said.
So whether you're into history, art, or just soaking up a new culture, Vilnius has something for everyone. Hopefully this deep dive has inspired you to check it out for yourselves. It's a city full of surprises and definitely worth exploring.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Vilnius, here we come.